It takes John 4 hours to paint a fence. When his friend Tom helps him and the two work together, they can paint the fence in 3 hours. How long would it take Tom to paint the fence by himself? One way to tackle a working together problem is to use this template. Essentially, we're going to create two fractions, one for John and one for Tom. One fraction represents the fraction of the job that John does. The other fraction represents the fraction of the job that Tom does. And when we add these two fractions together, we get 100% of the completed job. 100% converted to a decimal is just the value 1. So let's begin by writing two fractions, one representing the portion of the job that John does, and the other representing the portion of the job that Tom does. Both fractions' numerators are going to contain the same quantity. How much time would it take if they worked together? From the problem, it says that the fence can be painted in 3 hours if they work together. So we'll put a 3 in the time together position in both of these fractions. In the denominators, we're going to look at the time it takes for each of the individuals to do the job by themselves. We're told that it takes John 4 hours to paint the fence by himself, so in that time alone position, he'll get a 4. But the question is asking us how long would it take Tom to paint the fence if he worked by himself. So that's our unknown quantity, and we put x in the position of our unknown. So now we've created an equation that we can solve, and let's notice that this is a rational equation because of the fact that we have an x in the denominator. In order to solve a rational equation, we're going to multiply both sides of it by the LCD. In this case, our LCD is 4 times x. We want all of the factors of each of the denominators to be contained in the LCD. So we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by the LCD over 1. So let's begin with the LCD times 3/4. So we'll have 4x over 1 times 3 divided by 4 plus the LCD times this next term is going to be 4x over 1 times 3 over x. And on the right-hand side, we have the LCD times 1. And that's just 1 times 4x, which is 4x. Now let's multiply these two together, and we see that the 4's are going to cancel, leaving a factor of x and a factor of 3, so we have 3x that remains from that product. In the second term, the x's cancel, and we're left with a 4 times a 3, so that leaves us with plus 12, is equal to 4x on the right. Now, after we've cleared the fractions, what we have is a linear equation. And we can solve linears by getting all the variable terms to one side. So our 3x's cancel here. We're left with 12 is equal to x. And so we've now solved for that variable. But let's go back to the beginning to clearly state our answer. Remember, x represented how long it would take Tom to paint the fence. So let's say that our value 12 then is measured in hours. So it takes Tom 12 hours to paint the fence if he were working by himself.